Dear Hannah, a few days ago, I found myself here, turning the final pages of my first Kate Morton novel. Right after I finished it, I felt an irresistible urge to dive into another book of the author. This time, The House at Riverton, Morton's debut novel. Today, during a break from work, I flipped its last page, completely captivated by its quiet, descriptive narrative. Now, how do I convey why I love this book? The story? Yes, there is one, woven with the same delicate threads of time and history as her other book, spanning decades and centuries with a touch of sophistication. Yet, the narrative and its pace are not driven by cliffhangers or thrilling questions. It doesn't push you to race through chapters, and yet I found myself in the wonderful company of its 600 pages. It introduced me to characters I grew to like, even love. It gave me lines worth underlining, lines to recite, or perhaps to alter just enough to make them my own. I do that, I take what strikes me as beautiful, give it a little twist, and turn someone else's genius into my own. What does that make me, dear Hannah? I took a pause after that question, not to find the answer, but to think about the book. What stood out for me in this story? In the author's notes from The Clockmaker's Daughter, Morton mentions a deep affection for houses, and she's serious about it. The entire plot of The Clockmaker's Daughter revolves around the house. This book also features a house that's more than just a setting. It's a quiet observer of events, customs, and prejudice. At times, its mere presence dictates circumstances. Most importantly, it stands as the silent historian of everyone's deeds and secrets. Then there's another part of the book that stayed with me. The escapes of Robbie and Hannah, their time together on a boat, floating somewhere on the Thames. The narrator describes these moments beautifully. Let me read one out for you. Sometimes, afterwards, they would lie together, lulled by the gentle rocking of the boat, telling each other about their lives. They spoke, as lovers do, of poetry and music and the places that Robbie had been and she longed to see. Robbie, torn by the war's aftermath, and Hannah, who found in his company a remedy for the void. I will remember this book as one remembers everything about the moment they acted on something significant. I will also remember this August of 2024 for the decisions it led me to, especially that one phone call. Now, don't be too curious about it, just in case you are. When I shared my intentions with him, he asked, "But do you know what you want to come back to?" I have pondered that question before, but I was still struck by how he phrased it. Everything will begin soon, in just a few days. This time, I'm not hoping for things to fall into place. Even a grain of salt, when dropped, sends ripples across still waters. But soon enough, the waters settle into a new state of quiet. Whistler used to live on the Thames, Robbie said. He loved to paint the shifting fog, the effects of light. Monet too. He was here for a while. I have no idea who Whistler was, or Monet. I'm not Robbie Hunter, the poet and Hannah's lover, who knew all of that. But I wondered if I knew someone who lived somewhere that I could quote for a fact in a conversation. There's something strangely satisfying about admitting what you're not so good at. What are your thoughts on this, dear Hannah? Best wishes, Brooding Brook. To Hannah, 1924, Riverton, England.
ఇదిగోండి అది ఓకేనా?
ఓకే. థ్యాంక్ యూ.